Macbeth is a play written in 1623 by a world-renowned playwright known by the name of Shakespeare. The themes expressed in this play are very strong and show how the actions of one person can corrupt an entire kingdom. Lord Macduff, the Thane of the Fifth, is one of the play's most salient characters and is a typical archetype of a hero. He plays two of the most important roles that the play has and proves to be the opposite of Macbeth. Prior to the events of when Macduff left, Macbeth had met with the witches again and demanded to learn what had happened to him. The witches snarled and told him that he had left to find Malcolm and gave him a warning saying, "Only a man not born of a woman can slay you." Macbeth at the time was startled and thought to himself that a man who had not been conceived correctly could only slay him during battle. It gave him a sense of relief and invincibility at the time. You can tell he was relieved because after finding out where Macduff went and that he could only die under specific circumstances, he ordered the death of Macduff's family, showing malevolent actions. We learn of what Macduff has done during this time and what Macbeth's intentions were after finding out of his betrayal. Macduff is a very emotional character in the play, and he suffers a lot through the entire story. This is mainly caused after Macbeth kills his family after being told of what Macduff's intentions were. After he suspects Macbeth of regicide, he realized that his life was in danger and the kingdom was going to see a terrible aftermath of Macbeth's rule. So he goes to meet with King Duncan's son, Malcolm. He implores Malcolm to go and take the throne, but Malcolm makes him go through a series of tests. And in doing so, Macbeth hears word of what had happened and decides to murder Macduff's family in the process. During the time, Macduff had just heard of what happened to his family and was holding back his emotions. He meets Macbeth on the battlefield and unsheaths his sword, saying, My sword is my words." This is a very, very powerful quote that he says to Macbeth, meaning he has no words for what Macbeth has done. He is dead to him. But the way his sword acts is how he will release the plethora of hatred towards Macbeth. The way he says, "My sword is and my words," meaning that they are one with each other, shows his intentions clearly, because they are one and the same, and it tells you how he feels towards Macbeth in the act and the scene. The quote gives you an idea of what happened on the battlefield at the time between those two salient characters, and tells you that Macduff became very malevolent towards Macbeth during the death of his family. Macduff, through the integrity of the story, is seen as the one who will slay Macbeth, and is ultimately called a holy angel by a Scottish Thane known as Lennox. As I have said before, Macduff's role in the play is to be the counterpart to Macbeth, and his destiny is to slay him. He is also shown as a very strong Jacobean character at the time, being loyal to his king and never failing to betray him unless someone has committed heresy.